to Monorants, a podcast where we rant about whatever we're interested in. If you're tuning in, you're obviously interested in superhero TV show The Boys 2. I'm one of your hosts and jack of all trades, Mono, and with me is my co-host and master of none, Kira. Okay, so this week we are on to Season 1, Episode 5, Good for the Soul, and don't forget we will be talking comics and referencing ahead in the show, so spoilers ahead for both. So, Kira, am I to do the summary again?
Yeah, you do such a good job of blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
That thing what I said.
That thing. So, in this episode, the boys head to the Believe Expo to follow a promising lead in their ongoing war against the Supes. There might be a homicidal infant, but you'll have to see for yourself. Yeah, that's pretty...
I don't think I classify the infant as homicidal, as, you know...
He's an accessory to homicide. Well, he is the weapon.
It is a baby. It has no control over its movements or shit or anything like that. So, yeah.
What you're saying is...
equating things like homicidal to it when it has no clear, like, reference to what it is.
What you're saying is superpowered babies don't kill people. People holding superpowered babies kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we see where you are on the side of the gun debate.
No, like, don't do that to me.
So yeah, just past the halfway mark in the series, and this episode was directed by This episode was... Don't laugh when I'm trying to restart. Sorry, it's because I have Dior down as director, and I'm like, Dr. Stephen Schwartz is... So, yeah.
And they're your notes.
I know, but my own shorthand is shit. So, this episode was directed by Stephen Schwartz. He's done a lot of 1s and 2s of episodes of shows. It seems like the bigger shows that he did were Dexter, Black Sails, Fear the Walking Dead. He's done 2 episodes of The Boys. He's got about 30-40 different credits. Right. But it's mostly 1 and 2 episodes of things. Similarly, the writer Anne Caffell Saunders. A couple episodes of Star Trek Discovery, a couple episodes of Smallville, a couple episodes of Battlestar Galactica. So she's in the sci-fi superhero wheelhouse, it seems. And she also does 2 episodes of The Boys. This episode, Good for the Soul, based on issues 15 to 18. Well, sorry, the name is taken from issues 15 to 18 of the comics. So, first thoughts about this episode, Kira?
I've completely forgotten how this episode started, and we literally just watched it, and this keeps happening to me. I have got really bad short-term memory loss, apparently.
Yeah, and I'm the one who smoked before we started. So it opens with in Cuba. Pop
oh,
Clock.
yes.
Poor Pop Clock.
Everything that happens, like, what is essentially, like, the cold opening, not the cold opening, but everything that happens prior to, like, the title card, my brain is like, doesn't matter, don't care. Like, ignore that. Yeah, poor Pop Clock. I really feel bad for Pop Clock. Like, Pop Clock really gets used by everybody.
She does.
And then the whole fact that he feeds her, like, a whole story about how... everything's sorted out.
That's heartbreaking.
It is so harsh. It is so unnecessary. You didn't need to get her hopes up like that. Just to jam, 8 syringes into her at speed and then kill her with a heroin overdose.
Yeah, but that was particularly devious when he uses the one thing
she wants is to have a public relationship with him.
And he uses that. Knowing full well what he's going to do, he uses that to get the information that he needs out of her.
Yeah, so she spills the beans about the 4 guys. And is that what... Yeah, he goes back then to 7 headquarters.
To report that he's killed her.
Yeah, to Homelander.
Which, is interesting because up to this point, we weren't really sure who was running the V. We don't really know what the V is being used for yet, and we weren't sure who was running the V beyond A-Train. We assumed it was probably Vought, but he's reporting back directly to Homelander. Not to Stillwell, not to anybody else.
No, straight to Homelander, and then after that he returns to the apartment, he's like watching. They have a nanny cam. They have a nanny cam bear tucked up in the corner, and I don't know how consensual that sex recording was. The thing is, I don't think it was consensual at all, that he's just a little bit of a pervy weirdo, because when he's watching it and it's them getting it on and then it cuts to her going, yeah, you're a filthy pig who likes to eat ass, You wouldn't do that if you knew there was if you knew there was something recording you in the house.
Oh, sorry, you think A-Train
put the nanny cam there to
in
spy
there
on her because
and or record their sex antics
without her knowing,
and Popplot didn't know it was there. That would make sense.
Why would she sit on your man's face and cheat on him on A-Train?
Yeah.
If she knew it was there.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. I just kind of
not big on the consent thing. Like, none of them seem to be. So.
No, that's true. I hadn't thought of it that way at all. Because he goes straight for it to play it, knowing or it seems to be as soon as he plugs it in, it's playing him and Poplar having sex.
Yeah.
So is that all it was used for?
Yeah, and then you get to see her popping the landlord's head. And then the boys coming in, and the only clear shot they can get is of Frenchie.
Yeah.
And then they proceed to ruin Frenchie's life because he's got they run it through crime analytics.
The 34 IDs that he's got.
The flickering montage on screen of him, and it really looks like, do you remember back in the day when you used to be able to upload a photo onto stuff? You could do it really, really, really early on with the Game Boy Color cameras. That you could change, showing my age right there. Where you could change your hair, put the hairstyles on things.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like when it's filtering through
all those
different mugshots of
so
him.
Cheesy.
There's a brilliant one where he's got full on emo hair, and it's oh my god, it's so funny. But it is. It's they are cheesy as fuck. But he's got a load of addresses. They raid all of his addresses. He gets the phone call then from Cherie saying that they found her. He's been burned essentially.
Yeah.
And if they found her, they found everything. So that is, VOD is on to them now. Well, at least one of them.
Yeah. They
know that there's 4 of them. They have a vague description of them. They know what one of them looks like from the nanny cam footage.
What I thought was interesting was when A-Train shows up to Homelander to say the deed is done. I've killed Poplar. And says, it was a heroin overdose. And Homelander says, and what about the V? And A-Train says, I found out she told these 4 guys about it. And Homelander says, no, I mean about you. And he talks about him using
him being on
which
it.
is, in and of itself, is interesting. But what I thought was really interesting is, why doesn't Homelander want to know about the 4 guys? Why
they're insignificant.
Well, yeah, but I suppose I am thinking in terms of somebody who's watched the rest of the series, because from this point on, Homelander does become very concerned with who's fucking with him.
Yeah.
And he knows Translucent's already been killed, but why is it that...
They haven't connected it. They don't know if that's maybe another superhero that took out Translucent.
True, but I just thought it was strange that he didn't want to know.
Well, at the moment, he's a little bit preoccupied with his whole hatred of that baby. And of Teddy. Teddy. His talking points and not being taken seriously. And that's kind of where his perspective is. And he's riding on the fact that he saved... I can't remember the flight number.
Flight 37, that's where
he's saved their storyline of that, and he's helped push their agenda, and that's where his focus is. It's not on these 4 guys who may have just been there to rail his girlfriend.
Yeah, true.
It's she may have told him about the V, but who are they and what can they do about it?
Yeah.
They're looking for one of them. That's... As far as he's concerned, he's whatever. If we find him, we find him.
Yeah, I suppose I probably am looking at it a bit with, hindsight glasses. But I love how Anthony Starr plays that scene.
Anthony Starr is just amazing as Homelander. He really is.
The friendly menace towards A-Train. When A-Train thinks he's done, he's like, no, come here for a hug. We're family. And I'll always be watching over you.
Yeah. A huge chunk of it is Anthony Starr, but I think there's not enough credit to give to how everyone else around him reacts to him. Everybody else, when they're interacting with them, is always a little bit reserved. It's like the neighborhood dog that barks at everybody and it's a little bit psycho.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah,
you go to pet it, but it might savage you. And that's how everybody responds to him as well. Even the other superheroes are afraid of him.
Anybody who's been around him for a long enough period of time has their own
They're all
delicate way of dealing with him.
They're all very wary of him as well. So I think props have to be given to the rest of the cast for conveying that unease.
Yeah, definitely. As good as Anthony Starr's performance is,
it wouldn't without reaction.
Yeah, without the other cast members selling it in the way they do, that they are, that their reactions to his performance and the character, it wouldn't be as good. Like, it's a phenomenal cast. It really is.
But that unease, that unsettling, and you do get it every time he's on screen, is he himself projects this like slightly off-putting aura, for lack of a better word, but it is also then picked up and carried through by everybody else. Yeah,
and you never know which way he's going to go. Like when he's later on in the episode when he's talking with Huey, and Huey's
you don't
just
know if he's going to snap his neck.
And as well as Huey plays it being like, I'm just afraid of water. When Homelander plunges him in, and you see from Huey's POV, and you see the creepy smile through the water. He just, you're not sure, like, is he going to drown him? Does he know? Or is he just doing this because he can and he enjoys the power over a normal mortal?
Like the fact that is it like he doesn't like the fact that he's fucking over Starlight? It appears to him that he's fucking over Starlight and using her to get into this $15,000 event. Is it that? Is he like being like a scary big brother? Is he just fucking with him because he feels he can?
Does he think that superheroes...
What are you doing? Why is there a cat trying to climb behind me on this sofa?
Listen, here, boy.
Why are you such
We leave the doors open as a privilege so that you don't fuck around with recordings. Don't mess that up. Or is it a case that he thinks that normal humans shouldn't date superheroes, and he doesn't like that Huey's kind of sniffing around Starlight?
I don't think anything to do with like normal dating or normal sexual appetite can be attributed to especially Homelander, because everything is so skewed given his upbringing. Everything's really skewed for him. He is really messed up, and the way that they all seem to have gone towards these like extremes. Yeah.
Well, in as much as all of the superheroes we've been introduced to so far, with the exception of Starlight,
are extreme perverts, not Maeve. Well, we haven't seen her doing anything to excess, although we do find out that she's a recovering alcoholic in this situation.
Yeah.
In this episode.
And she's also
a lesbian.
No, she shows a complete lack of empathy for Starlight in the first episode. And other than that, we haven't really seen Maeve do anything particularly horrible. She just seems to be the one who doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's aloof and she doesn't care.
She keeps her head down and just gets on with it.
Yeah. But as you said, we find out she's a recovering alcoholic. Well, a lapsed
alcoholic. She's an alcoholic.
Yeah, she's a lapsed alcoholic when she goes to visit Elena.
Yeah.
And that was a nice bit. That's the first real bit of personalisation we've gotten to Maeve.
Yeah, Maeve's just that cold, stone-faced, resting bitch face that's in the corner.
Yeah, and we saw her jadedness a bit in previous scenes with like the shooter, and a bit in this episode as well when Homelander is doing his speech about Flight 37 and she walks off.
Oh yeah, I don't like boring speeches.
Yeah.
It's starting, veneer is starting to crack now though, and you're starting to see the real her coming out it's been coming through for a little bit.
Yeah, but what I mean is it's only the jadedness that we've seen. This is the first kind of emotional scene. We found out, okay, whatever, she used to date Homelander in the past, but that doesn't seem to be something she particularly cares to reminisce about. But this is clearly somebody she cares for, somebody who she tried to make a go of in a relationship before, and, is, I'm guessing, the only person she trusts enough that if she's in that much of a kind of emotional state, that's who she goes to.
Yeah.
Or she has nobody else to go to.
She doesn't have anybody else, realistically. Who can she trust? It has to be somebody outside of Vought.
And you see that's what causes the break in Maeve when she completely breaks down in Elena's apartment. It's when Elena says, go back to Homelander. And Maeve says, kind of, go back. And that's when she collapses and breaks down. And you're right. That's all she has is Vought and everything around Vought.
No, you do get a lot more of her backstory in season 2, and you can kind of understand why she is so guarded and the way she is. But it's nice to see that there's a side of her that's human, because for so long, I think as well, she's been the only female she's been in the Seven for years. So she has this facade that she wears, and she can't be anything outside of that. That's her whole personality. She's basically been used by everybody as well.
Yeah. And what I like as well is we get to see a little bit of what it's like to be a normal person in a relationship with a superhero, or the aftermath of it, at least, when Elena's talking about how, you know, you got over me, Maeve, because when you walked into my life, you never had to see me again. I've had to see you every day on posters and, you know, in interviews on the TV and everywhere.
Must be similar to dating a celebrity, like a high profile celebrity. You would have that same, the same trials and tribulations of suddenly, well, from what I gather, their relationship was kept very, very secret. So she wouldn't have necessarily had the media after her, but there's still the heartache of having to see that person over and over and over again, especially if for the duration of your relationship it was hidden.
Yeah, it'd be like that scene from episode 1 where Huey sees all the A-Train stuff.
Yeah.
But all day, every day.
Yeah, it's not a fun reality, and the fact that she's pulled herself out of it and she's trying to move on with her life and then I can understand her reaction then to Maeve coming in, and she's like, no, I've moved on, everything's better, I'm in a good place, I don't want to see you.
And I understand that. It seems to have been quite a while as well, because there's the line about the cat, whereas... The
cat died 2 years ago?
Yeah, he died 2 years ago, so it's been at least that long since Maeve's had any contact with her.
Also the fact, number one, I would be so mad if they rocked up. She rocks up in the outfit. Bitch, put a pair of jeans on. Yeah. She's like, oh, I was just in the area. I'm like, yeah, well, now you've just come in through the window.
Yeah, all my neighbours are going to be, was Queen Maeve at your house last night? No, that was just a cosplayer.
Unless she's in a walk-up, like, she's had to stand out there. Obviously, she's in a walk-up because she was able to get in and get to the front door.
Do you think they do that? Do you think they'd go to, like, cosplaying events just...
As is.
As is.
Well, Dolly Parton once entered a Dahlia-like and lost to a drag queen.
And like Hugh Jackman wandered around conventions as Wolverine, and people just thought he was a really good cosplayer.
Oh, they told him he was too short.
Too short, yeah. Whereas the main criticism of Hugh Jackman for Wolverine was that he was too tall to
play because Wolverine's only supposed to be like 5'2" or something like that in the comic books. But it happens all the time. Celebrities don't look like what we think. Like when you see, it's also that disassociation of if you see somebody you're not expecting to see somewhere, you don't expect to see them, you don't twig it's them. There's obviously you've got to think there's an awful lot of that going on. Plus it's New York, and New Yorkers are... Irish people will ignore celebrities unless they're down the beach with a bag of cans like Matt Damon. If there's any other kind of New Yorkers, we'll just go, there's celebrity whatever.
And I suppose
they are a very kind of not blasé, but it's New York. You could see anybody walking down the street.
Yeah, and if we're to believe superheroes have been around for a while, it wouldn't be the biggest deal in the world for you to see a superhero.
Yeah, the Vought Tower is there.
And as we see later on, in fact, when Homelander goes to see Stillwell outside the paediatricians, a couple of people, but it's only a couple of people in the background kind of stop and go, oh, is that fucking Homelander? Like, oh, he's just having a chat with somebody. But it's not suddenly hundreds of people crowding around.
No.
It's just 5 or 6 people going, oh, fucking hell, Homelander's over there. Like, you know?
Do you want to go say up to him? No, you're all right.
He seems to be having a pretty serious conversation. Let's leave it.
Yeah.
That scene as well is the first time we see a bit of a crack in Stillwell, I thought.
Yeah, she's struggling. She's struggling there. She's on her own. She's outside. She's got her baby. Teddy. She just wants to go and do something. He's pissed. He's very pissed off.
Yeah.
And you can see it that she's just like, let me do this and I will deal with you later. You know, you're not my 24/7. And I think the jab about the baby being an accessory it's a lot deeper than she lets on.
Yeah, and that's when she sternly says, you know, we need to set some boundaries. But when she turns around after saying that to walk away, it looks like there's just terror in her face.
And once again, he stares at that baby.
The little laugh from Teddy doesn't help the situation, I don't think.
He hates that, like, he really, really hates that baby. But that jab about the baby being an accessory, like, that is harsh. But there's enough truth in it as well that it cuts really, really deep.
It does. And semi-related, because I may forget to say it, And if you haven't watched ahead in the series, maybe jump ahead a minute or two, because I'm going to give a spoiler for the end of the season. You know what Homelander does at the end of the season?
Yeah.
And we were like, there's no way Teddy could have survived that.
And Teddy survives it.
Apparently somehow Teddy survives it.
I don't think...
And considering how much he hates that baby, why would Homelander have bothered saving it? Especially if he could have
It's a part
just...
of Stillwell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Especially if he could have just blamed it on Butcher.
Yeah.
Spoiler over.
I don't think he had it in him.
True. I suppose we can talk about it when it gets mentioned in season 2. Spoilers over. But yeah, no, he does. He hates Teddy. It's, as I said, it's the first.
And it's addressed then by Stillwell later on in the episode when he's staring at her through the wall again. And she goes, "Oh, I can see you." And she's talking to him. She invites him in, and she's like, "Oh, have I not been paying enough attention to you?"
That is a masterclass in high level manipulation right there. What Stillwell does, the way she handles him, is just, you can see, right, this is why she's been put in that position.
You've got to wonder how many executives in Vought she's done that to.
But
because
she knows
that's not the first time she's done that, and I understand if that's how she's dealing with Homelander as well. Number one, it's hard to watch it without, don't watch it while you're eating, for the love of God. It'll put you off everything. Don't be doing something you love watching this episode, that in particular, that scene, because just
Yep. But just the way she goes about it, it's like she knows that she can't just have an argument with him like she did outside the pediatricians, because that doesn't work.
No, she's got to soothe him, and she's got to coerce him, and she's got to pander to him.
She starts off by making out like it's her fault, by saying, I obviously haven't been paying enough attention to you and working with you, and that's why you're acting out. But you can't act out.
Oh, it's such a toxic relationship. She's almost like the beaten wife that, it wasn't your fault, it was mine because I didn't do X, Y, and Z.
I think she knows what she's doing, though.
She does, but it is still so
it's still done out of
toxic.
fear. Yeah, ultimately it is. But just still, the way she does it all is just... And obviously, then how it ends...
I'm having some difficulties with this. It really...
You can't even make the Homelander wants the biddy joke now, can you?
No.
Go on, say it.
The Homeland... Oh, no.
I can't actually say it.
I can't. No, it really...
You're just picturing him lying on her lap, sucking on her
fingers.
Yeah.
And it really,
yeah, and you can't say Homelander wants the biddy.
It really makes me uncomfortable. It makes me properly uncomfortable.
Listeners, I wish this was a video
I
medium right now.
I'm trying really hard to just not... Ugh.
Yeah, and that's a testament to how good that scene plays out.
That whole scene is so... The last time I was this uncomfortable was watching The Human Centipede 2.
And that is fucking saying something.
Yeah, because we watched that with a group of people, and none of us spoke to each other for about 3-4 weeks after that. We actually could not even be in the same room with each other after that. Because we were like...
Made living together difficult.
Yeah, because it was like... ugh. It is a fantastically uncomfortable scene to watch, which makes what she's doing even... It brings across just how fucked up their relationship is.
It is like so Oedipal.
Yeah, this weird complex that he's got. It kind of explains how much he hates his baby because the baby's taking her time.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of very uncomfortable scenes involving them later on in the series that are just as weird and uncomfortable and make you want to go and sit. In the shower.
From here on, like you got the tease of it in episode 2 or episode 3 with You're Leaking. And from this point on, their relationship just it's off the wall.
It's balls to the wall. Just
madness. It's brilliant. It is televisual excellence is what it is.
But they don't hold back on how creepy it is, which is nice. Like they don't try and sugarcoat the fact that this is just she's using her body and her charms. She is literally prostituting herself just to get him to toe the party line. Yeah,
well, I think she's particularly worried that after seeing, what went down at Believe, which we will eventually get to, listeners. After seeing what goes down there, she realises actually he's gotten further out of line than I realise he has. He thinks that he can do no wrong since Flight 37, which he is considering now as a positive thing he did.
Yeah.
And she realises she really needs to try and rein him back in before he gets too far out of line and jeopardises everything.
Yeah, no, it's gross. It's gross and weird, and I don't like it. I do like it, but it just
so
it's one of those things. It's like watching pimple popping videos. It's really gross and disgusting, but you can't look away.
So what you're saying is we're done talking about this scene,
and
now.
We're done talking about this scene,
and we shouldn't really revisit it.
No. No. Homelander got the biddy, and it was gross.
Well, will we delve into the meat of the episode then? The Believe Expo. Which I think I mistakenly called Capes for Christ last week.
Yeah, that is one of the religious groups.
It's one of the other expos. Yeah. Annie mentions it, I think.
She does.
When she's talking to you.
I think it's more, it's a collection of superheroes who are super religious. So you've got Drummer Boy, Holy Mary.
I think it is Holy Mary, and like the Standard.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, as we mentioned last week, Oh Father, who is now Ezekiel, and probably for the better. Again, we'll move on quickly.
But it's the same thing. They have these
whoever that super angel lady is singing the song.
Who like she could probably kick ass and take names, but when you have wings and you can sing, this is what you're doing. You have
white fluffy wings.
This is what you're doing for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you're in there.
She's as underused as Angel is in X-Men.
Yeah, so Believe is just
it's a religious expo, and it is like they do happen in the US because the US is the land where you're defined by some major thing, like I'm Scott Malkinson and I'm a diabetic. You're defined, like it becomes this defining feature that you're Jewish or you're X or you're Y, and you don't
or what side of the political spectrum you're on,
and you don't seem to associate especially for what seems to be middle America, as far as I understand it, is like if you're in one of these, or not even just middle America, all over the place, if you're in one of these like super religious households and you attend a religious school and the church and you don't associate with anybody outside of that, and there's a fantastic documentary called Jesus Camp about these camps for younger kids within the evangelical community. And everything that's going on at the Believe Expo, especially in the round table, is actually a lighter version of what actually happens in these. And it as ridiculous as it comes across, especially some of the questions where they're talking about the friend in school who's Hindu. This is legitimately what these children are being told.
Oh, it's as much indoctrination, in my opinion, as anybody else who's like, grown up in a neo-Nazi thing, or grown up in a cult, or grown up in a terrorist organization. Like it's indoctrinating. If you're not exposed to any altering worldviews,
no,
and that's Annie's whole thing in this episode.
Yeah,
is Annie's starting to see, because she's been outside it a little bit and kind of had her worldview shattered in one or two ways about how the Seven operates. She's starting to see things differently, like when she's seeing the little posters and stuff like that. But if you can't get outside it, how are you supposed to know any different?
No, and that's the thing, is you can see it in her. This is her wake up call, and this is her realizing, especially when she sees the marriage is a man and a woman, and the hypocrisy of what they're saying when she's doing the round table, and she's basically like, I had to lie to these kids, and she wants to be truthful with them and let them make their own decisions, and the priest is going, don't. Also him and his jeans and his smart shoes, and he looks like he's going to a gala night out.
The priest, the pastor, or whatever he is.
The formal shoes with the jeans.
Yeah.
All he's missing is a check button down, and he's off to the gaff for the night.
For all of the, I don't know, a minute to 2 minutes he's on screen, he's really good, especially that look he gives to Starlight when she's talking about her virginity. And there's the almost imperceptible head nod and the intense look in his eyes of, come on, no, don't do it.
But anything that she says, he's there kind of going, yes, but don't you want to, he's spinning it back to their agenda.
Yeah, even if she says something that's not, like with the question about the Hindu, Starlight says kind of, well, be
love
good to your love thy neighbour, because she knows she doesn't really want to get into this. She clearly doesn't think that you should be converting people.
No.
And she says, well, the Bible says love thy neighbour. And then, of course, he quips in with, well, the Bible also says this, and this.
Yeah.
That means, you don't want to damn this person to hell.
I love the cherry picking, though. I have a degree in theology, just for some context here. I spent 3 years of my life doing nothing but studying.
This lady knows Christianity.
Studying Roman Catholicism. And there's so much of this that I've seen throughout my interactions with various people of various faiths, is the ones that are really pig-headed, the real fanatical people. It doesn't matter what you say. They're going to continue to think the way they think. And cherry pick bits of the Bible to justify their message.
And a lot of people, I believe, or probably a lot of religious people, thought that this episode was very much an attack on religion and Christianity in general. I don't think it is. I think it's summed up by Annie at the end. It's an attack on a lot of people who are in religious institutions, but who act like they know all the answers and want to charge you for them.
Basically,
that's what this is an indictment of.
Yeah, it's mega churches. These insane pastors. I can't remember your man's name with the terrifying face.
But not just...
The one who spits on COVID.
Yeah.
Him. Like, it's an attack on all of these super, like, these mega churches and this thing and this, if you need this and you need to, like... It's up there with, like, Martin Luther and the whole buying indulgences.
Yeah. But I think it's as much... Like, you could apply that to, these life coaches.
Yeah.
Who think they know all the answers for how to succeed in life and want to charge you for it. Like Annie says, anybody who says, I know the answers, probably doesn't. And especially if they're trying to charge you for it. They just want
your money.
Yeah, they want your money and they want you to see things their way so they can get other people's money through you.
But it's total manipulation and use. And a lot of it, and the issue I have with a lot of, I myself am not religious. I will hold my hand up and be like, I am not a religious person. No. I don't really have a faith of that. I respect other people's faiths and beliefs.
Yeah.
I don't think it has a place in our school system, for one thing, which is a totally other kind of worms.
No.
Religion shouldn't, I think religion, if it does, it should be taught as like a worldview type affair. Yeah, but it shouldn't be the be all and end all. And number one, it shouldn't be the dominant trait of your personality. Like, you kind of get the feeling that all these kids introduce themselves as, my name is blah, 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 and I'm a Christian.
Mm.
And I go to church and I don't associate with anybody outside of that. My whole community does this, that, and the other.
It's the single biggest defining aspect of who they are. And it's how they define themselves and how they define, it's the lens through which they act as well a lot of the time.
And everything that they do has to be, viewed in the eyes of is this what a good, godly, fearing person would do? Not, is this right? Should I be doing this? But, is this, the churchy thing to do? And I've said this before and I'll say this again. I've never said this on here, but I have met people in my life who would be hardcore atheists, nihilists, you name it, have no faith, no religion, are the nicest people in the world, would give you the shirt off the back, the last dollar they have, would go to hell and back for you. And then I have met people who claim to be extremely religious who wouldn't even spit on you if you're on fire. And I'm not tarring everybody with the same brush here, but I do find that, especially for some people who seem to be so fanatically religious, they hide behind their religion as an excuse not to be a good person.
Yeah.
I think this episode hits it perfectly as people who hide behind their religion.
Yeah.
And think that because they go to church and they do all of this and all of that, that they're good people when they're fundamentally not. Yeah. And this really hits that on the head.
Oh, it does. It does. And it's probably good that we brought it back to the show because we could rant on that for a little bit. I was worried we'd go a little bit armchair psychology on this episode. We couldn't help ourselves, folks.
No.
We'll see how much of it stays in the
It's an episode that really does. Like, the Believe Expo in general, it really does get to me because it does showcase everything that is wrong with fundamental religion, fanaticism.
Fundamentalism as a concept in general, not just for religion, for anything, for fundamentalist political views. And
also the fact that when Homelander comes on stage and he's like, let's hear it for Jesus, like he was just thanking the band that had been on previously.
I know. No, I think Ezekiel's bit of, hey bro, bring it in, this is what Jesus said, hey bros, bring it in. You shouldn't need proof. Just the way he delivers that speech, and you should believe because we tell you to believe, because that's called faith. And everybody goes fucking ballistic at being told believe because we tell you to.
Yeah, if you ever wanted an idea of what I was like in university, not being religious and studying theology, Billy talking to that pastor.
Or telling them God's a cunt and that we should lob a nuke at him.
Yeah, that was basically me in every single tutorial. Just playing devil's advocate
Perhaps
with people.
slightly
Not
less
so
profane.
harsh.
Yeah.
Not quite. No. I did get into a fight with a Mormon and it did get a bit brutal. But that was basically my whole stance was, hang on. I was that person and was like, please explain this to me. So that was a nice little nod back to, it's a nice nod to people who are like me, who are, well, if...
Trolls?
Yeah. I was trying to think of a way of saying that wasn't just being like, yeah, I'm a horrible troll monster, please. Yeah. Pay the fine or give me a damn goat. One or the other.
Like, if you're going to be so sure about your beliefs and be there to be able to tell other people about them, you're going to have to be able to defend them as well.
Yeah.
Maybe not from somebody quite as profane as Billy, but you're going to have to be able to defend them.
And I think as well, the way the modern society is going, it is either one or the other. Like, you do have people who are raised religious who find their own tribe after that and move away from it. Or you do find people who go the other way. But at the end of the day, I think it's something that is very, very personal, and I don't think it should be commercialized and made in, not at least not to the same extent that evangelical Christianity has become this big commercial powerhouse machine in the US, which is everything that this episode satirizes.
Yeah. And is that the first we see of Billy in this episode when he's talking about God being a cunt?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it is.
He antagonizes everybody in this episode. He really does, because he has a go at being like, oh yeah, there's the inner Bible,
and he's like, fuck off, I'm Episcopalian.
Yeah, he's go at him there. Then he has a go at Huey and when Huey says he might believe in God, and he straight away goes, oh, so do you think what happened to Robin was some part of some divine fucking plan?
Yeah.
And then we discover, it seems maybe linked, that the reason he's being so shitty is because he's just found out that his wife's family have put up a gravestone.
Well, they've had a ceremony to bury her.
Yeah.
And I can understand why they were saying, like, it's 3 years. He goes to visit her sister and she's like, it's 3 years and they need closure as a family. And it happens an awful lot with people who are missing for a long period of time. It's not so much about the legal point of view of, having the legalities of declaring somebody dead. It's also about closure for the family to be able to move on. It's not that they've given up or they've forgotten. Whereas that's how Billy sees it. Billy sees it as they've just given up entirely. But, and the sister makes the point that it's for their parent. It's,
they don't have long left.
They don't have long left, and it's to put that to rest, and it's not, they don't, flat out, they're like, we don't know what happened to her, but she never would have done this. Like, they've always assumed that the worst has happened to her.
Yeah.
And it's about closure for them.
But,
so it's nice to see also Britt Morgan.
Brit something, I can't remember.
She's brilliant.
And good casting. When we have seen Becca at this point in the flashback. Good casting to have them as sisters. Yeah, no, she is. And she's very, very good. I've seen her previously in True Blood. I loved her in True Blood. It's nice to see her in this. The accent threw me at first because I was like, obviously True Blood is the real Southern accents. That threw me, but she's very, very strong, and you get the grief and the fact that she's just really mad at him. Yeah. Like, obviously you'd be pissed off. It's like, oh, it's been 3 years, you've been off doing God knows what. Yeah. The family needs to grieve and move on, and this is how they're doing that. And then he follows up this rather lovely sentiment by going to the graveyard and destroying the headstone. Yeah. Bitch, those are expensive. Yeah. It shows how, petty he is, because even though it makes no difference to his crusade. His crusade. It makes no difference to, as far as he knows, his ability to get Becca back or not. All he knows that headstone does is give comfort to some people. But no, not good enough for him. No, he's so selfish. He's an out and out dick to everybody in this episode. He makes Huey go in and blackmail Ezekiel when Huey really doesn't feel comfortable or ready for it. He tells to fuck off basically twice when he disappears. And MM's like, where you going? He's like, I'm not telling you. And then when he comes back and MM's like, where were you? He's like, none of your fucking business. Yeah, no, and getting there, Huey...
they're listening in. They've cloned Annie's phone and they're listening into all of her conversations with Huey, and they can hear the fact that obviously there's something more going on between them. It is a genuine friendship that they seem to be developing. I do love the fact that Annie's mother rocks onto the scene.
Yeah. Oh, she's a force to be reckoned with.
So dismissive of Huey, and she's like, "Oh, are you a fan? You know, give the man an autograph." And he's like, "No, we know each other." And he's like, "Oh, do you work at VOD? Otherwise, what are you doing around my daughter? Like, how dare you?"
Yeah.
And also, that same implication is there. Is like, Annie, you're supposed to either be in work or this. If you're not something to do with work, you're not something to do with the convention. Who are you?
Yeah.
It's that real, like, you know, you're not good enough for my daughter and I'm going to completely dismiss you.
Yeah, Annie's mum in this episode is just, as I said, it's a force to be reckoned with. She is a one-woman hurricane going around wrecking shit.
So much on her as well later on in the episode when after the round table. I also, prior to that, when Ashley rocks up and she's like, "Oh, hi, how was your flight?" "Yeah, you have a round table." Like, she doesn't even wait for the answer.
She doesn't care about the mum, but then immediately walks off chatting with the mum to allow Huey and Annie to have another little conversation.
Yeah, but it's like, you have the round table in 15 minutes, come on.
Yeah.
Ashley, I love her. Also, the fact that she has to put up with Homelander arriving, being like, "Get me Stillwell," and she's like, "Oh, nobody told you."
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this one.
Not here. And you can see it, you can hear the little quiver in her voice, and she's like, "No, she's not here, but I can deal with you." And he's like, obviously he's like noped, he just noped straight out of there and went to confront Stillwell in the car park of a hospital, because that's what you do as a sane human being.
Yeah.
But she's running around like a fucking headless chicken, doing her thing, being Ashley. And then when Starlight starts giving her speech at the end, Ashley's in the corner like a proud mom.
Beside the proud mom,
as it's all going well. And as it gets progressively worse, Ashley's face goes through all the emotions again. But it is brilliant. But her mom in this episode, this is the episode where you really, really start to see how little regard her mother has for Annie's happiness.
Yeah, she really doesn't care.
You know, and it smacks of that, all that, you know, that hard work we did. And it's like, what hard work did you do? She has super dance mom energy.
Oh, yeah.
She's not, you never watched Dance Moms. No, I used to watch it for the car crash that it was, to watch these mothers literally drag their children who are screaming, crying because they haven't slept in like 5 years because they have to be the best at everything. She gives off big like dance mom energy of, you will be perfect, even though the kid's crying and going, "I don't want to do this anymore." Yeah,
I think you get all you need to know from her response when Annie opens up to her and says, you know, how hard the last few months have been and that she can't go on stage, and she tries to be real certain of like, no, tell them I'm not going on stage. And her response is, "I've waited 23 years for this."
Yeah.
It's about my friends who are watching at home, and it's about, you know, how important this is for me.
Yeah.
She might say we, but it's very clear what she means is me.
And it's incredibly manipulative on her mother's part, because she's like, "What about all the sacrifices I made, you know, taking you to all these pageants and doing all of this stuff." Annie had been reminiscing earlier in the episode about how she knew everybody at this and they used to do all the Christian circuit and that these people were family. And to have her mother turn around and be like, "Well, this was all a sacrifice and I took you to all these things because I wanted to," it tarnishes those memories as well for her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
you know, and you can see it crushing her.
This episode at large seems to be, everybody has crisis of faith in this episode to a greater or larger degree. As Huey...
To a greater or larger.
Yeah, sorry. I can't talk either today, apparently. To a larger or smaller degree, everybody has crisis of faith.
Yeah.
Huey, and Frenchie all seem to be having some issues with Butcher. A little bit of trust issues.
Yeah.
Maeve is losing faith in her role and everything. Yeah. Homelander is losing faith in Stillwell and vice versa. But Annie's faith takes the hardest hit. She loses faith in her mum.
She loses her faith.
Yeah, in everything. The company...
No. She loses her faith. And with something that was such a core part of who she was. And now she's seeing the hypocrisy and the double standards and these messages that she doesn't believe in. And she really, like... She would be what I would classify as a true Christian, because she sees that the message at the end of the day is love and acceptance. And she's seeing that being skewed.
Yeah.
And she's seeing that, okay, she doesn't know about all the depravity of Ezekiel, but Ezekiel is a big promoter of the pray the gay the way.
Yeah.
away, considering the antics he's been up to.
Yeah.
He's a hypocrite. That priest that she's sitting next to, who, number one, he states that he's known her since she was their age. Ew.
Yeah.
Either he's either a really young priest who's been in it for a while, or there's some, like, he is sucking the souls of dead children. Because that priest is not, like, I get that she's 23 and, okay, 10, 20 years, but he doesn't look that much older than her.
No.
He's a cool priest.
But yeah, Annie's faith in everything is shaken in this episode, even in Huey.
Oh yeah, because he uses her
in her interpersonal relationships with her mom and with Huey, with Vought, as we've seen over the last couple of episodes, and now all of the religious institutions that she has grown up with and lived her life through up to this point.
Yeah,
she's lost her faith in all of them.
It's the Wizard of Oz. She's seen behind the curtain. She's seen the man in the hat pulling the levers, and it's not so pretty. And
again, Huey asking for the
ticket because his dad's a bit like, and he says it's because his dad's a big fan, and he does, like, Huey knows he's using her, but at the same time, every time he sees Robin, he's reminded of why he's supposed to be doing this. And that's what prompts him to do it. But I think it's eating at him. And that's why he goes, after she gives her speech, and he goes to talk to her and he tells her the truth.
Yeah.
Then that, I think, is a very pivotal point for them. And he realizes that what he's been doing and using her isn't right.
Yeah, well, he's never been comfortable with it. And we've seen that, when he sees the ghost of Robin, it spurs him on to further use Annie. You can see that, at the end when they kind of reconcile. And he says about, I lost my girlfriend. And Starlight tries to apologise in a, oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And Huey's like, no, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I acted wrong.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Huey's a good person. Starlight's a good person. They are fundamentally good people at heart. And they just want to do the right thing. And this is the first time when you see, because Huey's been getting a little bit like dark and muddled, and he's been pulled into the darkness a bit.
Yeah.
Because he's being blinded by this, his vendetta. Vendetta mia papa.
We're going to get a Disney strike. Stop that.
No, it's Simpsons. Oh, it is Disney.
Which is now owned by Disney.
Yeah. But he's been so blinded by this vendetta and revenge that he's lost sight of who he is. And I think that her speech is kind of a reality check for him as well. That this is somebody he actually really, really likes, and he can see himself maybe not having a relationship with them, but having some sort of friendship. And he can't continue on that development by lying to her.
Tied into that, kind of Huey finding his way, we get to see another nice little bit with MM and Huey. It's only one or two small bits, but like in the previous episode where we seen MM had a concern with Huey over the path he was going down and the price he was going to have to pay. In this episode, we see him stand up for Huey and be like, you can't, like, the kid's not been trained how to blackmail people. Like, we need to get this kid trained up. And he's the one who's quick to give him praise.
When he finds out he's the Rain Man.
Yeah, it's a brilliant line. But I liked seeing this development, and that's very much like it is in the comics.
Yeah.
Butcher is always just trying to not string Huey along, but like hope that Huey gets caught up in the excitement of it all, that he never has time to stop and question Butcher's actions or where they're going. And MM is the one who's kind of constantly being like, here are the things you need to know, here's how it works and here's how we do it. Like, and I really like the interaction that they're building between the two of them.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of interaction, but what they do have is very small and very, very meaningful. It has more impact because it's not lost in a whole load of fodder.
Yeah.
I also, just in terms of Huey in this episode, number one, having to get into that baptism. Him having to get baptized.
Huey is MVP.
Was hilarious in that he's like 6'1", and the way they flip him into that baptismal font is amazing. Like, it just, like, he's a big guy, and they get him all the way under the water in what looks like one of the most uncomfortable positions I've ever seen. Also, the fact that he is sweating because Homelander's got a grip on the back of his neck.
Yeah. Homelander is just loving it.
Homelander just has to sneeze and just everything's squished. Also, he's wearing a Billy Joel shirt.
Yeah, so can I finally talk about this?
What, the fact that he's finally wearing a Billy Joel shirt?
Yeah, Huey talks about how in the very first episode and a bit later on about his favourite bands and what he likes, and it's James Taylor and Billy Joel. He's talking about James Taylor and Billy Joel and these people being his favourite artists, but he's wearing Ramones t-shirts, Nirvana t-shirts, Pearl Jam t-shirts, and that they do not reflect the bands that he says he loves.
Yeah.
But, okay, yeah, so he's got the Billy Joel t-shirt on this time.
But he's also a Brooklynite who probably shops in thrift stores. And
True.
they're the type of t-shirts you get. But he forgets to take his phone out of his pocket.
I was going to say something like, really deep there. Like, this is the first episode where he's being a bit true to himself and his intentions and true to Annie. So that's represented in his choice of t-shirt being accurate.
Yeah.
But that's probably just bullshit.
Yeah. It's probably just somebody went around the thrift store and found them. Because he's been given the phone by Mother's Milk with the camera footage from the soup club to go in to blackmail him. He leaves the camera in his pants. Now I understand why, because he didn't come prepared for that. Everybody else that was at that had like a change of clothes. They knew what was going on. They'd paid their 15 grand for a ticket to meet Ezekiel and get rebaptized by Homelander. Number one, Homelander got into that pool in those boots. He's in like the full get-up in those boots and in that bodysuit. That's going to be difficult to get out of.
Well,
that's a good, that's going to have to get peeled out of it. Also,
what if he just lasers them with his heat vision for like a second?
He does not have the control to do that.
That's a fair point.
Also, Ezekiel in the tub completely in white.
In white denim, yeah.
In white denim with, can I point out the white snakeskin cowboy boots that he is wearing?
I didn't notice.
Did you not notice? Oh my God, they are hideous. But yeah, I said it last episode, Ezekiel looks like somebody, if you saw them near a playground, you would call the police. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If he drove a van, you would definitely call the police. But he does have this, I'm cool guy, and he's there, and they're all getting rebaptized, and when Huey does go to commit the actual blackmailing, the phone is fucked.
Yeah.
And Huey just pulls it out of his ass. You had sex with me?
Yeah, he improvs that. He improvs the fuck out of that situation. And
you played my ass like a drum.
Yeah, I'll have the audio grab for that, don't you worry.
Your dick was so perfect and long and stretchy, and you played my butt like jazz. With poise and skill and willingness to improvise.
It's magnificent. And he's like, oh, okay, so you're blackmailing me. What do you want? Do you want money? He goes, no, I know about the V. And Ezekiel's whole demeanor changes, and he's like, who are you? You're not just blackmailing me.
Yeah.
Who are you?
You're not just some, rent boy who's trying to get extra money out of me because I fucked you in a soup club.
Yeah.
You're into some serious shit.
Presumably that's happened to them before, that they've had people turn around and do it, and they just pay them off or kill them. Yeah. But this, you can see his whole demeanour changes, and he's like, who are you?
I like when he grabs him by the neck and slowly walks towards him.
Yeah.
Instead of just whipping him over. That blackmail scene is just, it's hilarious. Well,
it's very, very well done. And
it's hilarious when
the
Huey
nuance
says what
of
he
it
says.
is very good, and then Huey actually does get relevant information out of him of, your charity ships polio vaccine, but we know it's not polio vaccine, and where is it going? And that's when they find out that it's being sent to NICUs in hospitals. Yeah. And that really, really upset me, because I'm like, no, they're preemie babies, please don't do that. But it also has that added layer of what certain religious communities do, which is, you don't need a doctor, you can just pray. And it has that stank on it too, of, you can see Vought going into these people who have premature babies or babies with life-threatening illnesses and being like, oh, we can save your child.
Yeah. Well, we don't know at this point. Yeah, that's...
But they know that they're giving it to babies.
Yeah, they don't know why. They just know they are.
And they know that it is some sort of steroid for superheroes that they are giving to premature babies. Nothing about that sentence is good.
No.
The fact that Vought are going anywhere near.
And when those security guards bust in...
Oh, they don't care.
They just fire straight away. They don't care what they're hitting.
Well, presumably the incubators are bulletproof because they're laser-proof.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
So they do find out that, that this is being sent. They get a hospital... and Butcher head off to check it out. Discover your favourite part of both the trailer and the show.
Yeah, everybody loves the laser baby.
Laser baby.
I love the laser baby.
I just like the fact that he's has to jiggle him a little bit.
Yeah. So come on, do it again, please.
Because it's a lovely throwback to how many nannies shake their babies.
Yeah. It is indeed.
So they find out that this is all going on, and they're getting the sample, and they can see that it's hooked up to IVs and it's doing this, and they know that some of these kids are born with superpowers. Well, that's the story that has been peddled, is that it's a God-given power. So that's the story that the mom tells, is that when Starlight was born, she blinded the doctors. Which is a lovely story. Yeah, oh yeah, when you were born, you blinded everybody that was around. Yeah, well done, sweetie. So I've completely lost my train of thought.
Starlight's origin story.
Yeah,
Babies.
so the story that Vaught have been peddling is that these are God-given, and now this is the first indication that you get that maybe it's not.
Yeah. And
whatever this substance is.
That narrative is heavily relied on at the Believe Expo.
Yeah.
In Ezekiel's speech and in Homelander's speech, that these are God-given powers. We are the chosen ones.
Yeah. Homelander's speech is just propaganda 101.
Oh yeah, it's and his lovely Jesus pose at the end of it.
Oh yeah, like in fairness.
And let's not mince words. We were attacked. It was an international flight with international citizens. We don't even know where it was flying, presumably to New York.
Yeah.
But it was coming from Paris. And yet, no, we were attacked. Yeah. America was attacked.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He's creating the narrative he wants to create. And at this point, it's not even the narrative that Vought want him to create.
No.
And Vought take a hit in this episode.
They do. They take a big
Their
hit.
biggest... Now, not necessarily everybody knows just how much internal struggle there was there. All they heard was Homelander saying, "Oh, they want me to do corporate speak, but I'm not going to." But
and then you've got that followed up by Annie going, "Stop the music, and I can't do this." And you can see it in her as she's starting to do the speech. You can see the light in her eyes dying.
As well as that, probably isn't going to make as much news as Homelander's speech or Annie's speech, but we've also seen a third member of the Seven go off the rails as the news is reporting on Deep's dolphin rescue.
Oh yeah, that the Deep has just like lost his mind and like
So Vaught have a PR nightmare on their hands potentially at the minute.
And between that and they're trying to get the bill passed through Congress that would allow them into the military, and their actions, like they're proving to be uncontrollable.
So it's the first time, I think, so far in the season that we've seen Vought start to lose control as the boys are getting more and more. Yeah. They're getting more info. They're getting more evidence. And Vought, to a degree, things seem to be unraveling for them.
Yeah, they're being caught on the back foot by this. Everybody's not playing ball anymore.
Yeah, certainly they can't be as cocky as they once were, it seems, with their superheroes.
No, but they do have a lead on one of them because they're searching for Frenchie. Frenchie, who's now holed up with the female.
Yeah.
And he cooks her a beautiful gourmet dinner because he's French, and of course
which is another nice nod to the comics. He does that for just randomly.
And he sets it down. The one thing I had was he uses American place settings, and I'm like, no, fork on the left.
In that first scene where he gives her the dinner, I do like how, he gives her dinner and he tries to say, we're the same, you and I, and I just want to help you get home. And she launches herself at him. Yeah. And he doesn't even flinch.
No.
He's trying to make it clear, look, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not here to harm you. I'm here to help. No,
you see the story. Their whole storyline I adore. Their chemistry together from the very, very start. Because what they have is very, very special. And their story throughout the comic book, the progression of their storyline is the antithesis to the actual main storyline of the comic book. It's hope and it's love, and it grows throughout the whole thing. It's the one thing that they build as opposed to destroy. But the fact that the two of them, the female doesn't speak.
No, and Frenchie she says one thing at the very end, but we'll save that for another day. But in the comics, Frenchie spends the whole run trying to save her from the violence inside herself.
Yeah.
And that's...
He sees the good in her and he sees the person she can be, and that bonds them. And it is one of those... Like, it's a friendship, it's a romance, it's all of this stuff mixed up together.
Apparently, a lot of people... This is kind of second season stuff, but a lot of people were upset that they took the Frenchie female relationship in a romantic way.
Je t'aime from the start.
But yeah, in the comics, I always thought that their love, it was a romantic love. It was just they couldn't express it because of how very violent she was and everything that was inside her. And it may have started as a kind of platonic, sibling love, but it's certainly by the end of it where, big spoiler for the comics, jump ahead a minute if you don't want to hear it, when Frenchie and the female die, he says je t'aime from the first.
Yeah.
You don't say I love you from the first to a brother or a sister or a family member before you die.
No, you say that to the love of your life.
Yeah, you would just say I love you to a family member before you die.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like, from the first moment I saw you.
Yeah, because that's kind of, you would assume that's a given with a family member.
But I think the chemistry between the two actors is amazing.
In this episode, you really start to see it as well.
And it is very sweet, and he just cares about her, and he's treating her like a wounded animal, which she is. Their whole little story line that they've got going off to the side of this episode in particular is very, very sweet. It is. He's just you can already see that he understands her by the fact that he can track her down through the Japanese music. He's picked up on the nail polish.
He understands her thought processes, at least in terms of she was trying to get away, and he can relate.
And I almost, in a way, it's almost like if he can redeem her, maybe then there's hope for him.
Yeah, you were saying that in the last episode, and it's a little bit kind of clearer in this episode when, at the end, when he realises he's been burned and he calls Butcher, and Butcher says, get out of there, leave the girl.
Yeah.
And he has this crisis of conscience where he's like, no, I can't leave you here. Like, who the fuck does Butcher think he is telling me what to do like that? He thinks I'm a gun that he can just point me in.
Yeah, he goes off on his wonderful little rant.
And yeah, he sees these aspects in her as well. She seems to be somebody who was, given superpowers against her will, probably for a nefarious purpose.
Yeah.
And he's able to break out of his role and the things that he doesn't like about himself by helping her.
And then him helping her leads to our first kind of real interaction of Black Noir.
Yeah, the fight scene.
The fight scene with Black Noir, which is the first time you actually see him engaging in something other than being in a sex club dancing.
Yeah,
or staring at people.
And which had been subtly foreshadowed in the previous episode.
With him staring at the back of their heads for that whole...
Only it turns out while he's after Frenchie, it's him and the female who end up having a fight.
Yeah, because she runs away, Frenchie goes looking for her, so he's out in the open, he's aware that he's been burned. She seems to understand to a certain degree what's going on, because when Black Noir shows up in the alleyway, she's like no, get out of
the
here,
hell out of here,
I'll take this on. And it's a beautiful, it really is a blink if you and you'll miss it fight scene. It's very, very quiet, it's lovely because it's only ambient sound. It's two mute characters pummeling each other, and all you hear are the knives, because Black Noir is like covered in knives
and the exertions and grunts,
just the small grunts and things like that. And it is like the pair of them, it's a very quick edit one, but it works with it because you get the idea that the pair of them are moving so not fast, but they're very, very skilled in what they do. So even though the female does have this super strength, and we've seen her just full on mill people out of it, she also has this finesse and skill, because she goes into that beautiful headlock up on his back where she's trying to avoid the knife. She goes for a wall run when he stabs her, and she just boofs it. But it shows more finesse on, so she's obviously had some training at some point along the way, and he ends up eviscerating her, and Frenchie comes back, and you think she's dead in the alleyway. Cue Bill Withers, Ain't No Sunshine.
And again, beautiful use of music in this show. They spared no expense. Yeah, props to the music editor, and it seems that the Amazon books that they were given for this show were put to good use when it came to the music as well, because the choices throughout the show have been so good, and none of them have been
they're very thoughtful.
Jarring either. Sometimes in the best example for me is
Watchmen.
Watchmen, when All Along the Watchtower blares in and it just takes you out of the movie straight away.
Yeah.
None of the music in this has taken you out of it, and it's all been so well placed and so well thought out.
Well, in fairness, you could put Bill Withers over anything and I'll be happy.
This is true.
But music Ain't No Sunshine, again, lyrically, it fits with what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, and Frenchie comes back and he's devastated and he goes to take his coat off and cover her and she wakes up because apparently she's the fucking Terminator. And that's when you get more of a hint of what's going on with her as well, is that she seems to be unkillable.
Yeah, so...
She's a honey badger. She lay down and she had a nap and she got up and she feels better.
I was saying that I think that all superheroes have kind of a base level of super strength.
Yeah.
And then whatever their power is their power. If that's the case with the female, like, we haven't seen her be super strong. Like, she wasn't able to take on A-Train.
She can withstand a lot of...
She did a lot better against Blackmore than she did against A-Train.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's probably been fed a little bit better and, you know, rested better.
Yeah.
But she's still not super, super strong. So, you know, amazing super strength isn't her superpower in inverted commas. So is it resurrection?
Well,
can she just not be killed?
Yeah, I don't think she can die because you do get, and it is fantastic looking as her wounds all heal.
Mm.
That is really, really nicely done. And she wakes up and because the song, it's Ain't No Sunshine, and it fades out and he's just going, no, 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 no. And he's just heartbroken over this. And he goes to cover her up and she wakes up again and she looks as freaked out about the whole thing as he does, in fairness.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's just like, what? I was dead. No. And then the song kicks back in again and then it finishes on the line of, I know she's young and I should probably...
No, I gotta leave this... Yeah. I gotta leave this young thing alone because ain't no sunshine when she's gone.
Yeah.
And I
it reinforces the whole Frenchie, whatever Frenchie is dragging her into... Whatever she's being, anybody who seems to come in contact with them and get dragged into this, it's not for their benefit.
No, but certainly Frenchie thinks that he's trying to do it for
her benefit.
I think that we've covered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Anything else? Oh, well, there's at least two little small things I'd like to talk about.
What?
I like how when A-Train and Blackmore go down to crime analytics to try and find out about Frenchie, and he's like, what's the crime analytics guy? He's like, what's this for? He's like, oh, we're doing something on our own. It's like, you guys don't normally work on your own. And A-Train just goes, Trevor, shut up. And the Deep, when he realises the shit is going to go down around him.
Yeah,
during
when
Annie's
makes speech and his face, like, again, Chase Crawford, like most people would only know him as Nate Archibald from Gossip Girl, and in that he's not a great character, he's very one note. I always enjoyed him in it. Yeah, he's like this stoner rich kid in it, and he's got like the floppy hair and he's just pretty. He does, as the series goes on, he gets more like meaty storylines and things like that, and I think he's very, very underrated, and you can see that in this. He's getting to go from being this, I've got big dick energy, to, like, he's sitting there eating snacks going, I am so fucked, and he's looking around, waiting on them coming bursting in and dragging them off.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it. He's binge eating while he's watching a TV report about his failed dolphin rescue, and then he switches over to Believe Expo, and as he starts to watch Starlight's speech, he has this little smile like, she's going off script, she's going to get herself in trouble, and then she says, and somebody shoved a dick in my face, and he's like, uh-oh. And then
his eyes get really big.
Yeah, and as you rightly said, when you cut back to him later, he's like looking around the room almost as if he expects somebody to come busting in and like arrest him there and then.
But you can actually see him physically like shrink down into himself as well. He's going, oh no, gotta make myself small.
This isn't going to end well for me.
Yeah.
We see more of that then. Like from this point on, the Deep is just hilarious for the rest of the season. With one exception.
Yeah.
And if you've seen the rest of the season, I have a fairly good idea. You know what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I do. I really enjoy seeing Chase Crawford because, like I said, I think he was done dirty in Gossip Girl. Because he's a way better actor than that. And this is a really good chance for him to redeem himself and reach out to a whole new audience who aren't like, you're just pretty boy Nate Archibald.
Yeah. But
I do very much enjoy him. And his storyline is very interesting.
Yeah. But I think that Definitely now we've covered it all.
Yeah.
If you think we've missed anything, if you think we talked too much about anything, if you thought we were a bit too fucking know-it-all when we were talking about religion, let us know. You can send any feedback, questions to monorantspodcast@gmail.com, and you can find us on Twitter @rantsmono. So we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.